Okay, let's move on to Sunday in the Big Ten. We got another rivalry game to talk about, and that is Ohio State at Michigan. You got Wisconsin in the Big Ten really running away with it, 11-1 start. But for second place, you got Ohio State battling Maryland and Purdue and Michigan State in there, and then Michigan team starting 6-7 in Big Ten play, having a tough time with some injuries of late. These teams met a month ago, January 13th. Ohio State was at home and was a 9.5-point favorite. They won 71-52. The game went under the total of 129, and it really wasn't close at all. It was a 39-24 halftime lead, and then Ohio State scored 13 straight points to start the second half to go up 52-24. So really, Michigan had no reason to even show up for that second half, falling behind like that. So here's a different situation coming home, and Ohio State's in a difficult situational spot too. Fourth road game in 5 games for the Buckeyes, and they're in their bounce back mode too after a loss on Saturday to Michigan State. Did you guys have Michigan State in that one at all?
I didn't have the game.
No, not at all.
It was one that I was watching closely for other people.
Yeah, for Buckeye backers, it was tough. Plus 2.5 dog. You're on the road. It's tied with 3 seconds left, but you give up the three-pointer. And then you got this Michigan team. It's kind of a back-to-back rivalry week for Michigan, playing Michigan State and now playing Sunday at Ohio State. They do play best at home, winning 10 of their first 15 home games. But boy, they've been struggling with injuries of late. So Jeff, this is a revenge game. However, they're not playing very well with injuries, and they're 4-9 against the spread at home too.
Yeah, you said they didn't really show up for the first game. They probably literally did not want to show up for that game because it was the day after their hated rivals had won the football national championship. It was just a terrible situation for Michigan to be in. They had to go to Ohio State in that situation. So obviously they weren't very focused. This time around it will be different, of course, but as you said, the way they're playing it might not make much difference. Ohio State's 19-7, straight up 12-12-1 against the spread. They've won 5 out of 7. Both those losses came in the final seconds versus Purdue and Michigan State. This game, the Wolverines lost 4 in a row, 5 out of 6, and 3 of those losses were in overtime. So they're not like they've been getting blown out every game. So they have that going for them. They also have those major injuries, including a guard, Karis LeVert, who's out for the season. Plus, it's a young team, Michigan, with 4 freshmen in the rotation. One thing, though, Ohio State's just won 9-1 against the spread the last 11 road games. Another thing to keep in mind. So, I can't take Michigan the way they're playing right now, but it is a big revenge game. They're at home. This could make their season because they don't have much else to look forward to. So Ohio State will be a favorite, maybe 3 or 4 points. I'll probably lay off this game, John. I don't see it's probably not a good game that I'll take.
Yeah, Ohio State having the troubles on the road, as you mentioned, but they haven't covered games overall of late. 4-2 spread run, and boy, they played number 16 Maryland, blew them out 80-56. They played then number 23 Indiana. Won by double digits, 82-70. Had that tough loss to Michigan State, but they also crushed Penn State by 20 and Rutgers by 19. So overall, they can play this pressing, attacking defense. But, Zach, they're not covering these games on the road. So is this a blowout spot or a better matchup for Michigan?
Michigan is just a really tough team. I don't think I've even touched them since their injuries in November or December. So I haven't seen much from their new lineup to gauge what this point spread would be, but I do know they still have shooters in that lineup, Spike Albert, and I've seen a new guy in the stats with what's his name, Muhammad Ali. I don't know how you say his last name, but he's been doing okay. But these are no-name players. Meanwhile, Ohio State, they've got senior talent mixed in with D'Angelo Russell, who might be the top pick in the NBA draft. The senior talent, Sam Thompson, big man inside, and they have another guy in there. But these guys have been around. They were part of that Elite 8 win against Syracuse a few years back. So these guys have been around. The question is, this could be a letdown spot, like Jeff was saying. Thad Modest had problems with keeping his team mentally focused, especially towards the end of the season. I'm not sure if they're looking ahead and realizing they're going to be a 3 seed, 4 seed in the tournament. This definitely could be a letdown spot, as I know John Beilein's a heck of a coach. He's had the pedigree with Jim Boeheim in upstate New York when he coached at the small school there, Lemoyne, and then I forgot where his second stopping ground was, but he keeps his teams focused. That's the only thing that I see from a standpoint of a spread advantage. John Beeline will have his team ready no matter what. He doesn't care if he has the towel boys playing in the game. He's going to have that team focused. In Ohio State, when I watch them play, they're going to play up to the level of the teams they're playing. So that's when they blow out Maryland. They played up to the level. They played past them. When they played Michigan State, they came back in that game. But other games this year, and even in the past years when they lost to Gardner-Webb and some of these other teams that they've lost to, it's just questionable with Pat Mata keeping his team focused. So Michigan, this will definitely not be a play that I give out, but I wouldn't leave Michigan because I can see the line being, with the Big Ten wins that Ohio State has had recently, I could see this line being pretty high, and maybe Michigan coming out with that mental edge with Coach Beeline.
Well, if Michigan does have any more injuries, the Towel Boys will definitely be out there in the backcourt and in the front court for the poor Wolverines this season. I will lean toward a defensive game because that's really all that Michigan can do right now. Their offense is struggling, but they can bring that pressing D. And Ohio State is outstanding on defense. Michigan, when they face a team with a winning record, 9-5 under the total in the first meeting just last month, also went under the total of 129. So I can see a rivalry defensive slugfest on Saturday. All right, let's tell everybody what we have going on for, I'll start with the best bet. I'll go with Ohio State, Michigan under the total. Jeff, you're on a 9-4 basketball run, including winning days Saturday and Sunday. You're going to do it again this weekend.
Yeah, my best bet on the show will be Villanova. And if you call WSS at 1-866-575-8916, you'll get 2 weeks of NBA and college basketball for only $10. That's all the five-star plays. 1-866-575-8916. Call WSS and also go to jimfies.com for college and NBA every day.
All right, Zach, your college basketball run speaks for itself right from the beginning of the season. 95 wins, 60 losses, and 4 pushes. How can folks find you for this week?
Yeah, find me on jimfies.com. I should have four games this weekend on Saturday, and we'll see about Sunday. It's been a crazy last 4 weeks. It's been between that 35-41 range. Seems like forever, but we'll see if we can push that up and get over the 40 win mark this week. I'm just looking at the games on Saturday, and depending on what this line will be, I'm sure it'll be inflated. But Northern Iowa versus Bradley, this is another one of those conferences that I've been watching pretty closely where in years past it's been one of the better mid-major conferences, but this year you've just got issues galore with some of these teams. In Northern Iowa, I watched them their last 3 games. They are a true top 10 team. They're ranked number 11 right now, but they are a true top 10 team. And they will be a 3 or 4 seed in the tournament. They seem better to me than what Wichita State's been the past 2 years from what I've seen. They're a better defensive team, and they have the offense to match it. So I think their balance speaks for itself when it comes to the basketball court. They can be vulnerable if they have an off shooting night, but their defense is just so strong. And from what I've seen from Bradley, they've lost so many players from last year's quality team, and they've had issues galore. They just had that ordeal with a couple players at the strip club a couple weeks ago that they got in trouble for. So I think Northern Iowa, there's a different mentality with them right now. They know what their job is to do, and I think they come out on Saturday and get a strong home win against Bradley. I'm not sure what the spread will be. Hopefully it's not too high. Sometimes that happens on Saturday. They try to throw out some lines on you, but if it's anything over 14.5, 15, I wouldn't play it. And that's another thing I wanted to mention on the show. We do our videos, obviously Tuesday, Wednesday, way in advance of Saturday, but on these shows we'll give out the lines, and sometimes they're off by a point or two. Like last week I had Syracuse plus 8.5. They came out 7. So if there's a difference on the line and you're playing these plays based off these videos, don't play them or send us an email or something like that on the free play or on the message board. And same thing happened with George Washington Dayton on Friday a couple of weeks back when I said it should be 1.5. It was 3 on George Washington's side, and George Washington won by a point. So keep in mind the lines that we give out besides the picks on the show.
Okay, and yeah, you got to see the Northern Iowa team. Did anybody get a decent look at the basket against that defense, that suffocating defense they play?
No. Well, I wouldn't say that. When they have big leads, they're going to let people score. But that was the questionable thing in that game against who they just played.
Missouri State.
Missouri State, yeah. They were up by 20, 30 points, and that's why I was like, whoa.
They still covered.
They almost got a backdoor cover, a late 3. But they went for 2 instead, so we almost got the backdoor cover. But Missouri Valley, this is one of the years. There's a few times when a team's in a conference that they shouldn't be in those mid-majors, and this is one of those years when Northern Iowa does not belong in that conference. They should be. They'd be challenging teams in a major conference this year, Big Ten, wherever you want to put them. They would be challenging those teams.
Yeah, Northern Iowa was roughly a 500 team last year, so it's a remarkable turnaround for Ben Jacobson, who's been there 9 years, and
he's got some transfers on that team too from some big programs.
Yeah, and he's got a terrific track record as well. All right, if you're looking for plays from Jim Feist, boy, he enjoyed the weekend 18-6 run with all plays, including that Missouri Valley Conference game of the year with Northern Iowa on Sunday. Also is on a 10-2-1 NBA Game of the Year run, so he's delighted that the NBA will start up again after the All-Star break. You can check out Jim's plays and more at jimfeist.com. All right, make sure you take advantage, everybody, with these Vegas experts. Check out the website, jimfeist.com. There's free daily fastbacks in basketball, projected scores of the games and power ratings. There's free plays, articles, and more. Good luck with the games, everyone. We'll see you next week with another edition of the college basketball version of Proline. We'll see you there.
Sooner than later, right?
I am ready for football now.